What's up, everybody? Welcome. The Modcast is back. I'm actually in this bad boy. That's right. It's Orange Bloods Live. I'm Jeff Ketchum, Chad Hastings, Jason Sucamil, Alex Dunlap. We're all here to talk about what we've seen or talked about or evaluated or whatever through 2 days of Texas football camp. Do us a solid. Hit that thumbs up button. Jump into the Specs chat. Comment away. We'll take your super chats if you have them. But we're going to have a big old conversation about what this team looks like. Maybe the number one team in America. Is that what it looks like through 2 days? Chad and I planned an inquisition for both Alex and Jason. And we do want to mention the show brought to you by guys over at Daily and Black. We couldn't do what we do without them. They are an award-winning storm damage team of lawyers, award-winning. They've raised almost $60,000 in NIL for Texas baseball. They're just tremendous partners of Texas athletics. UT supporters, great lawyers. If you need to get yourself some lawyers for some storm damage stuff, it's real simple. Scan the QR code. Let Daily and Black help you. Simple as that. Chad.
Yes, sir.
I like what we have planned for the gentlemen. Did you give them a heads up, or is this organic and we're just going to –
I gave them a little bit of a heads up to make sure we can cover a lot of ground. We are going to – first off, we need to thank Money B, the legendary chatter, who threw out the idea to Cody yesterday, hey, give me one-word reactions to players' names. So you love that idea and said, let's throw that at these guys today. So I've got a different list of 10 players for each of these guys to react to with one word, and then we'll get into some discussion. So we have that coming up. But, fellas, I think we need to start with, to me, one of the big stories of that second practice, because I know there's Texas fans out there that are going to want to know. They're going to want to put it in the chat. But sort of I'm not even going to say an injury concern. It's just a couple guys weren't at practice. So Ryan Wingo, DJ Campbell, as we left the show yesterday, Catch, after practice, you said you didn't think there'd be any reason to worry. Show of hands from you three. Any reason to worry today about either one?
Nah.
No. Okay. All right.
Haven't heard it. If there is, I haven't heard about it. So hopefully no news is good news.
You know, the reporters, look, they said initially that there might be an update from Steve Sarkisian after practice on it, which would have, to me, that was a little bit of an alarm bell because he wasn't scheduled to speak. So, you know, if they had classes or, whatever in the world could possibly be going on, it's no big deal. You don't need to have the coach release a statement. So I thought, Jesus, if he's going to suddenly speak to the media, maybe it would be a deal. But then the SID office came out and let everybody know it wasn't considered a big deal. Personal issues, no big deal. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. That is good. And I guess the other name I might throw out, because I know Jason, I think maybe you and Alex have both mentioned it in some of your notes, but the Travis Shaw down on the field towards the end of a practice. I mean, we talked about it yesterday as maybe just a big man and it's a hot day. Any reason for concern there? Jason, you hear anything?
I didn't, and I didn't even see that. Alex, I must have been on the other side of the feed. Alex did, but I will say this. Like Alex in his notes said, hey, maybe it was just a conditioning. And you mentioned it was hot out there yesterday.
Yeah.
So conditioning was kind of an issue for him, at his previous stop. He would kind of go running hot and cold. So, that was always the rub with him. If he can get himself in great shape, he can be a tremendous player. So, but we're speculating. Again, I didn't see it. So Alex can maybe speak a little more on what he actually saw.
I mean, I don't clearly I'm not I'm not a doctor. So he was down for a long time, and trainers were over there, and they finally got him up, and they had him hold his hands over his head, and then they had him they were working the one-man sled, and they had him kind of do the motion like he was hitting the sled or something like that, and they were feeling him up by his arm and by the back, the back behind his shoulder, which made me think if any, I was just like, I'm glad they're not looking at his knee, because that was what he missed. Not missed, but remember they held Travis Shaw back in spring football from a previous knee injury, and so
Alex, that goes back to my conversation that I had with Chad, where I told him, I think it was yesterday, that you would rather break your neck in the old days than tear your Achilles if you were a football player. Kind of the same thing, right? Like, as long as you're not looking at your legs, whatever's going on the field on a hot day, you'll figure out.
Yeah, I do think it's probably. I mean, that whole knee, he didn't. he didn't really practice fully for all of spring. And like I wrote this in my column yesterday, but you guys know, like most of the people who live in Austin or like us around Austin, Central Texas, it's been one of the kind of milder summers we have on record. You know, it's like we had the 100-degree day back in May, and we haven't had one since. Like so yesterday felt about as hot. Like Cody and I got back in his stupid little rental car yesterday, and that thing was telling us it was 107 on the pavement right there by the Denny is. So it was hot, man. And so for a guy that just came to Texas, he's been in North Carolina before, had the most mild summer. I kind of chalked that up to, I think that thing was heat related for sure. So.
All right. By the way, we did get a super chat. It's a good, simple one from Longhorn Football Edits. $2. We have Longhorn football this month, y'all. It's a good call. It is August as we're talking to you on this Friday.
Longhorn Football Edits. If you get through this weekend, if you can just get through this one weekend with preseason football kicking off now, you're going to have football every single weekend until February. You just got to get through this one.
That's it. That is it. And hey,
I'm ready for the offseason after losing $100 on Prize Picks last night with my Marion Hampton play.
I kind of talked about that, but I feel like by the end we kind of talked ourselves off of it whenever we realized it was the most.
Is that what happened? We did. Is that what we did? You went
just preseason week one.
So that I understand what happened. You volunteered out of nowhere. That if I was looking for the combo bet to pair with Arch Manning for a season-long bet, that the hot preseason bet was,
and that's before the line went up.
Yeah,
he didn't get 2 carries for 9 yards.
No, he wouldn't have got the.
I forgive you.
It was like 11. He wouldn't even got the lower line.
If he would have got the 3 carries that I talked about, he would have gotten over that original 12.5 that we were saying.
Yeah.
So, catch. The question is: are you going to go pair the Arch thing with something else, or is the back of your mind?
No, the worst part of that,
it's going to sit there.
It's going to sit there for the rest of the year, and we're just take it off. Just take the $100.
Because if Arch throws like 42 touchdowns, that's going to be in the back of your mind.
It's gone. I swear to God. I'm going to contact Prize Picks and beg them to just take it. Uncle, I do not want to look at that until Christmas. So please.
Take $125 if you need to. Just get the damn thing off.
Take it down. Just take it down. Football Edits, thank you for the reminder. Yes, it is August. We're 29 days
there is
away.
another preseason game tonight, I believe, if you want to double up. And I think
there's no more, I don't think, until next weekend.
Oh, maybe I was thinking of next week. I think there's a Friday game.
I think they may be. They did point out as we start the season, they're going to do that Cowboys-Eagles game, and then there's a Friday game from Cancun or somewhere. But that's in September. So I think Catch is right. I think we're going all the way into next week.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. I don't know why I thought there was a Friday game. But
we get more preseason, but as the season starts, we'll get one of those. All right, Catch, are you ready for a little one word with these guys? You want to play some one-word game?
Yes.
All right, gentlemen, here's how we're going to decide who goes first. We're going to be very fair about this. Alex Dunlap, I am holding a number of fingers up on one hand, and I'm going to reveal it in a second. Is it an odd number or an even number?
Oh, it's odd.
It is odd. That is correct. It was 3. Very good. That's an odd number. Your choice. You want to go first or second?
Can you explain the game one more time?
I'm going to give you 10 names of Longhorn players, and you have to react to each one of them with only one word. Your reaction.
One word impression from the last 2 days.
You're going to go one by one. You're going to get 10 of them. Do you want to go first, or do you want Jason to go first?
Jason.
Man, I'm terrible at one-word answers, but okay.
All right, Jason, it is your turn to go first. Here we go. Jason Sukumel, one word. DeAndre Moore.
Built.
Okay. One word. Grayson Littleton.
Advanced.
No, I thought it was Jason was turn. It's still Jason's turn.
Oh,
right?
am I going sorry?
Oh, I thought we were going back and forth. I'm sorry.
No, all Jason now. All Jason now.
Advanced. No. I can't say further along. That's too.
You can just say advanced.
Advanced it is.
All All right.
I was going to say hair because I took a picture of him in my photo gallery. He's got some crazy hair. So, yeah.
All right, Jason, one word on Trey Owens.
Efficient.
Okay. Here's got to be an easy one. Colin Simmons.
Explosive.
Okay. Here's a guy I've seen some pictures of recently. One word on Dalen McCutcheon.
Reliable.
Ooh, okay. I like it. How about Hero Canoe?
I haven't seen much of him, honestly. Leader.
All right. Back to a receiver. One word, Michael Terry.
Freakish.
Ooh, freakish. I like that one. Also a ball catcher. One word, Jack Injuries.
Oh, man, I haven't seen a lot of Jack. Exciting.
Okay. This one's just asking for a nerdy friend. One word, Mason Shipley.
I non-existent. I haven't seen
There you go.
No hyphenated words.
Yeah. Hey, hyphenated words are still
absent.
words.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen the
We'll let you have that. And finally, Jason, one word on Travis Shaw.
Huge.
All right. That works. Catch any reactions there? Anything you want to expand on? Or Alex, anything y'all want to expand on with those names?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Jason and I had the same. If you would have asked me, like I think he said freakish for Michael Terry. I just would have said freak. I'm I can't.
What makes
I've seen him.
Like, what makes him a freak among freaks?
He's just so big. Like I've seen him several times in person, but every time I see him, and for some reason, when I saw him Wednesday, I was like, damn, I just forget how big he is, and to be out there running.
No, Jason, I think there's something different. I think he's like big. He's bigger, faster, or something.
Well,
like you and I,
size and that athleticism.
You were like, well, why were we not talking about him like this in the spring? Something had to have changed.
Well, I saw him a few times, not talking spring football, but when I was down there on campus for recruiting events, I saw him like literally. I sat there and made conversation with him. He was going to Denny's Fields to get some work in. And I just don't remember. Like, I don't know, man, if maybe it's the jersey, but I was like, damn, I don't remember Michael Terry looking that. I mean, he's always been big, but to be that big with that athleticism, high character guy, high work ethic guy, obviously, just freakish. Where's he going to fit in ultimately? And, 2-3 years from now, I don't really have the answer, but someone asked me like for a comparison, and I was like, I'm struggling to come up with one. He's not as big as Lavelle Pinkney. I mean, that guy was ridiculous, but he kind of has that kind of like wow factor as a receiver type.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Lavelle was on another level. He was 6'5". Michael Terry's like 6'3". So
the fact that you'd even bring up the name, Jason.
Well, that's what I was trying to think. Like,
he's
a 6'3", pretty well filled out guy that can move the way he can move and run.
Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, that's. I mean, for an NFL guy, yeah, that's not a bad one. Probably recently cut Cordero Patterson from the Steelers.
I think the whole. I bet if I ask you the following question, you guys will both give me a different answer. Which of the true freshman receivers ends up being the guy? If there is a freshman wide receiver this year that ends up coming out of this season as the apparent number one from that group of four, who emerges as the guy?
Well, I've got my answer easily. I'm curious to hear Alex's first.
Well, I'll just say this to kind of preface it, is that Chris Jackson, when we were talking to him, and I asked him, specifically about some of I forgot which freshman it was I'd asked him about, but he was talking about those guys that one of them is going to have to go ahead and establish himself as being the one that emerges from the group and becomes the Ryan Wingo, right? Yeah. The one that elevates himself. And he threw in this line. He was like, I have a pretty good idea of who it's going to be, but I don't know for sure. So it made me think. I wanted to, he said he wasn't going to tell us, but I wanted to follow up and say, like, well, who do you think it's going to be?
It's like he didn't want to affect the battle. Like, I don't want to say it out loud.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I wouldn't say Terry, just because yesterday was the first time based on what Chris Jackson had said, he said that he hadn't worked out as an outside receiver yet. He'd only worked out of the slot. And at the slot, they have these two different roles. One's the H and one's the R. And the R is kind of like it's like a Keelan Robinson type of role or like a Ryan Niblett type of role, wherever you play in the two running back sets, but you still are an adjustable player that can move into the slot. And then there's the H, which is what you just think of from your typical slot wide receiver who's in the slot, right? So they say they have Michael Terry and Niblett right now, the H and the R, but they need to learn how to play all the positions. And Michael Terry yesterday, and I think it might have been because Wingo wasn't out there, it was the first time I've ever seen him lining up outside and playing at the X. So at least I think it was. So yeah, I don't think it'll be Terry because I just feel like his role is a little bit it's been specialized so far, and Chris Jackson puts so much credence in making sure that they can play all three positions. I think it's probably French. He seemed like he was further along in the spring than Lockett and McCutcheon. You know, he's primarily a slot guy, so I think it's Jamie French.
Jason?
Well, French seems to be the first guy in the pecking order when they're taking reps. Okay, so that means a little something. French was a guy in the spring I heard about more. I actually heard in this offseason, Khalil Lockett's name. Actually heard like he might be the one of the freshmen. Me, I'm going with Dalen McCutcheon, dude. That dude, I mean, he wasn't as highly regarded in terms of recruiting. It's not like he was a slouch by any means, but I've seen him, like I said it when Chad, you and I used to do the recruiting hour, and I saw him at the Rivals 5-star events, which feels like forever ago. It was two summers ago, I guess. No, last summer, I guess. Whatever. The dude, like even against that level of competition, he's so technical and precise. I mean, he just against the top competition in the country makes plays. And I mean, I'm out here at practice the last 2 days, and I'm hearing his name come up way more from the coaches as they're out there coaching. They're not talking to me, obviously, but I mean, they're constantly praising him for his effort in his route running, and certain guys break their routes off too soon or they run it too shallow. Dalen McCutcheon it's just a perfectionist, and I just always am hearing the coaches praising him. So I think Dalen McCutcheon would be my answer, kind of right behind DeAndre Moore in that slot position. I think he's going to get a lot of work.
I kind of thought you might go with McCutcheon. I'm continue to hear good things, and that's why I threw him in there. And you said your one word was dependable. Is that what you said for McCutcheon?
I think that was right. Yeah,
making plays. All right, and number 17, I believe, is Dalen McCutcheon's number, if I'm not mistaken, for you to look for. All right, we got a good super chat in, good history super chat for the Longhorns. We will get Alex his 10 names and get one-word reactions from him. Also, we will thank our great partners here at Orange Bloods Live. Of course, we've already mentioned Daily and Black, the sponsor of the Modcast. Let's hear a little bit from AV Consultations. 29 days to kick. Get the setup you've always wanted. Here we go.
Hey y'all, I'm Camille McKay.
And I'm Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations.
The old man and I are here to give you your summer weather forecast. It's hot.
That's right, kid.
Which means it's time for pool parties, grilling burgers, and taking a beach vacation, right?
Well, I don't know about a vacation, but Audiovisual brings more heat than any tropical destination.
It was worth a shot. I'll settle for some outdoor speakers.
You know, Audiovisual can do a lot more than that. We provide outdoor video screens, audio systems, landscape lighting, even solar shades for your patio to keep the Texas heat at bay.
Well, I'm sold. Let's wrap this up. I'm ready to lounge on a floaty and listen to some smooth jazz.
Well, that sounds wonderful, but some smooth reggae is the way to go this summer.
Good thing we can listen to both with the Sonos sound system. I call dibs on the floaty, though. Peace out.
Kid, wait a second. Give us a call at 512-255-8678 or visit us at avconsultations.com. That's 512-255-8678.
Yes, indeed. Hope y'all are all having a great summer. Alex Dunlap, what do you listen to when you're floating on water? If you're in a pool, you're in a lake, what music do you listen to if you're listening to music?
I just, generally when I swim, I bought these earbuds that I can wear, that I can wear them underwater while I'm like swimming in the pool. So
are you serious?
Yeah, I have a resistance band thing that I have tied onto the gate, and so I can just go in there and just swim for like 30 minutes. And I can swim underwater with them. When I do that, I just listen to audiobooks. If I'm listening to music, man, I have a Spotify playlist I think, does AI generate that thing for me? I think I just put in some of the songs I like, and it just gives me a bunch of them. It's a mix of stuff. A lot of
Okay.
do you know what's weird about music right now is if you go and you search like the rock charts or you listen to like a rock channel on the radio, it's like it's all still, it feels like it's all still music from like 20 years ago. Like, what's the newest great rock band?
Yeah, it's a fair question.
You know, you listen to them and they're playing the same stuff they were playing 20 years ago. It's just it's crazy. Maybe somebody in the chat knows. I don't really know.
Yeah,
But
there you go.
yeah,
Give us-
a mix. I think they give you bands that sound like the bands that you like. But man, I like the early early 90s grunge stuff. I listen to a lot of Christian contemporary music. I listen to and then I like some of these Texas singers. I don't know if they're rock and stuff, but like Co Wetzel. I really dig Whiskey Myers.
Yeah.
So stuff. It's kind of an eclectic mix.
Very cool. That is a good mix. I knew I'd get a good answer out of that. All right, we're going to get Alex's 10. We're going to do a little one-word game with him in just a second, but I did see a super chat that I liked. This is S. Roan throwing us $5. Thank you, S. Roan. Just bragging on his Longhorns. Texas has beaten the defending consensus national champion in the regular season 4 times in program history. TCU in 39, A&M in 40, OU in 51, and Michigan in 2024.
I'm going to just assume he did his homework and that's accurate because S. Roan's pretty reliable. So
yeah, S. Roan, we're going to take your word for it. And obviously you're referencing the very first game this season as Texas will try to do it again and beat Ohio State and get their 12th straight road win if they do it, which is a heck of a run Sark is on right now. Thank you, S. Roan, for that. We appreciate you. Also, thanks to Flintstone Foot Job, one of my favorite names in the chat, finally made it out to Hayes City store last week and had the pork chops and jalapeno creamed corn. That's what I'll choose for my last meal before the chair.
Chair?
Wow. Okay. If that's last meal stuff, Flintstone, that tells us how much you enjoy it. I'm glad you
have not had lunch and my mouth is literally watering. Like just reading it.
We told plenty of people to get out to Hayes City store. We've mentioned the pork chops. They are unbelievable. Thank you for mentioning that. As long as we're mentioning food, and it is the same folks, I'll remind you to look for this building in downtown Buda. This is Taste on Main. This is the steakhouse of the same people that bring you Hayes City store. So you hear one of our chatters talking about that pork chop. At Taste on Main, we're talking about a casual steakhouse vibe. The steaks are incredible. I love the Brussels sprouts as a side, but I'm one of those weird people. I know not everybody loves Brussels sprouts, but whatever your side is, they do incredible stuff there. The chatter mentioned the cream corn out at Hayes City store. They have some incredible sides as well at Taste on Main. The drinks are great. Get that Sam Elliott's mustache to start off if you love your whiskey drinks. They have 2 different it's 3 different bar areas, including the Treehouse Bar. So get on out there. Great casual environment. It's free parking. You're in downtown Buda. Walk the antique stores after you're done. It's a lot of fun. Taste on Main in Buda. Get out there and check them out. All right, now that I've made everybody hungry on a Friday, we will move on. And thank you guys for jumping in. If you want to throw a super chat in, we will certainly do that. Jeff Ketchum having to step away here for a second to do a couple things, but we will continue to play the game because we said we were going to play the game, and that's, I think, what we should do. Alex, I'm going to give you your 10 names. Are you ready, sir?
Yep.
All right, here we go. 10 Longhorns. These guys these are 2 of the guys, of course, that were out there reporting for Orange Bloods, getting to look at practice. So 10 different names for Alex. Alex, I started Jason with a Moore, so I'm going to start you with a Moore. One word. Trey Moore.
It's not as easy as it looks, is it, Alex?
Versatile.
Okay, I like it. Let's go to offense. One word. Emmett Mosley.
Twitchy.
Like that one. Back to defense. One word. Cole Brevard.
Massive.
Yes. Everything I see is so impressive. That's a big, big dude. Back to offense. One word. Trevor Gooseby.
Prototypical.
Okay, that's a long word. I like that one. Let's go back to let's stay on offense. One word, Matthew Caldwell.
Back up.
Okay, all right. One word, Anthony Hill.
Superstar.
Okay, obviously what you needed to be. All right, let's hit two of those freshmen we talked about a little bit earlier. One word on Khalid Lockett.
Rangy.
Okay, I like that. And as long as we're there, Jamie French.
I don't know. The word that came to my head was missile.
Missile. I like that. All right, we'll get you to expand on that. I know both of you had comments on him, so I had to put him in here. One word, Jack Bomeister.
Boom.
Boom is the word. I like that. And finally, Alex, one word on Parker Livingstone.
Stud.
Okay. I like it. Like all.
I bought that stock yesterday, Alex. So
hey, welcome to the party, man. Welcome in, man. The water's nice and warm in here.
Yeah, that is it.
Really,
All right.
Did you pee in the pool, Alex?
No, I hope not, but if I did, I wouldn't tell.
Okay, well, anytime I hear someone say out loud the water is warm, I always wonder what did they just do?
It's probably not that's an old saying. It's probably not the best. You're right, Cash. It does carry a certain level of creepiness with it.
I mean, if you're in a hot tub, right?
Yeah,
That's
right.
one thing, but if you're like in the swimming pool and you're like, "Hey, come on over here, the water's warm."
Hey, last week when I was on vacation, we went to Port Aransas, and my 14-year-old daughter brought a friend, so we're out there splashing around the ocean. And I said to them, they were like 5 feet away. I go, "Wow, the water is like surprisingly warm right here." But they both just Dad, they took off as far as they could get away from it. Good times tormenting my kids. Yeah. So
nothing better than an old man joke to the kids. That's all.
I wasn't joking. It wasn't really a joke, man. It was true.
Just a funny moment, not even a joke, right? Yeah, that was a total.
Lights are going through me, man. What can I say?
All seriousness.
Yo, man, whenever I said the Cole Brevard earlier is massive, it's like I was having to restrain myself from saying more than one word about it because dude, it's worth a conversation just to discuss like that guy just standing next to him. I honestly can't believe just the amount of he's going to be impossible to move. Jason, did you get any photos or people like I didn't
pull one up for you, Alex. Give me a second.
Just
6'3", 346 on your roster.
I didn't. I've been doing the write-ups and I've been so busy, going, driving an hour plus back to campus. So I haven't been able to look through your photo gallery yet. But I figured that would be the one that everybody would be commenting on.
I got one from yesterday, and I think I got one from the first day also.
Yeah, but he's just like, I don't know if I can't think of really anybody that Texas has had really. I hate to like the Texas has had. Obviously Tavondre Sweat was giant, but he's a different kind of giant, right? Like one of these dudes that Cash. Do you remember that recruit from 2016 that was like the Incredible Hulk? His name was Kendall Jones, and he was from. But do you remember how when he was like, and he was not a good football player, right? But he was being recruited so much because he walked into a room and he looked like a comic book character kind of guy. Does that make sense? Big, muscle bound, kind of stiff. It's like if that guy were kind of good at football and he grew up into like a dude that's like a senior in college now.
There we go. Yeah.
He's so big through his upper arms, through his chest, and also like kind of he's like a big barrel, but it's not like a Bill Norton one where he kind of had the pony keg sort of gut on him. You know what I mean? I just look at this guy. I'm like, his ability to anchor down, even if he is maybe a tiny bit, he looks like he might be a tiny bit stiff with his lateral agility and stuff. And Kenny Baker was talking the other day about how the one thing he's having to tell him is you can't have it. I got to get it out of your head that you're just a nose tackle. Like I have to get that out of your head that you're a nose and only a nose, because at the NFL level, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, well, half the teams are going to say, well, he doesn't fit our scheme, right? We need to get you some 3 technique. We need to get you some nose. I just keep thinking to myself, how impossible is this guy going to be to move? What, like, I don't even, what on the roster he weighs, he's only listed at 346. I swear to God, the guy looks like he's like 370 pounds.
How
man.
tall is he? What do they list him at from a height standpoint?
6'3", I think.
6'3".
Look at this picture. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the angle of it all. He doesn't look 6'3" in this photo.
Well, they're starting that drill catch, and they kind of have him like
They kind of get low.
swim move.
No, I know, and I was saying I know it's the leverage, but
That Hero Canoe is who he's standing next to. Canoe is 6'5", so
okay, well, maybe when he's standing upright, maybe it's a little closer than it looked like there, but he doesn't look 6'3" in that photo. I guess he looks more compact and squatty in that photo than anything else. Let me see if I can find another one.
there is one from the previous day. But it doesn't show any height comparison. It's just like a waist up picture.
Yeah, that's it's impressive. It's a well put together 3 whatever it is, whether it's 346 or whatever.
So, Alex, who's your two guys on opening day at D tackle? Well, obviously, just it's early. There's no real way to know.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess it's going to be Brevard. Brevard's one of them, and then can you imagine having to like somebody else starting and they get winded and they run in Cole Brevard and the offensive line's like, oh God, I have this guy to deal with now. I think it would be Brevard, and I think and we haven't seen him with pads or anything on, but I gotta think it's going to be Murad Watson. That guy looks really good. I think those are the two. I'm 99% sure on Brevard, but the other one is a little bit harder. But if it's not Watson, I would say it's going to be Brevard and either Watson, Shaw, or maybe January.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what happens with January. I haven't heard any comments on him on these first couple practices. You guys have any comment real quick on 97, what he looked like, and kind of how you think he fits in?
Yeah, I mean, I think I view him the same way as I always have, and that's just quality, important, depth for now. I haven't seen anything for me to make me think, oh goodness, this guy, when I'm answering that question from Cash to say, well, God, it's going to be Brevard in January.
Right.
I think that's where they want him to be. I think he, we've heard from sources close to the program that the staff likes where he is. They have him where they want him to be. And I think where they want him to be right now is maybe not that obvious frontline dude, but a guy that's making an ascension similar to the one that, Vernon Broughton made, or that Alfred Collins made, or, just keep on getting, keep on stacking relatively good years.
Yeah. He's still only a sophomore. Like, Alex said,
yeah,
he's real. I mean, you see him physically, you're like, damn, he's 6'5", and he's every bit of 6'5". He's a legit 6'5". So physically, he looks the part. There's so many bodies that he's having to battle with. Is he going to be the frontline guy? I doubt it. Maybe not this year, but this is a guy. He came in. He was a high school teammate of Colin Simmons, and everybody loved Colin Simmons for obvious reasons. But Alex January was the district MVP. People forget how good of a player he was in high school. So I mean, he's got talent. He's got the size. We'll see if he puts it together. Maybe starting this year a little bit more.
Yeah. All right. We got a super chat coming here, and it was Magic with a little $9.99 super chat. General football question for Alex. Why don't they rotate O-line to keep them fresh like they do with the D-line?
Oh, that's just because it's a good question. It's just because of it's like what their mission is. Their missions are different. It's like on defense, you're a solo operator. You have your assignment, whether that's, whether it's a 1-gap assignment or a 2-gap assignment. There's one thing, you either need to, if you're 2-gapping, you're head up on a tackle, you have responsibility for the gap inside, the gap outside. If you're 1-gapping from a 3 technique, you're penetrating B-gap. That's what you're doing. Whereas on the offensive line, you're 5 guys, but you're an organism. You're your own organism. You're working like your mission. Your mission is to be able to, as a group, create that zone lane or create that crease or create that gap, whatever scheme you're in. So just bringing in a new guy on offense. Like, you got a little mission there that's not your own little mission that you got to accomplish, right? And so you got to have those guys and make sure that they're gelling, make sure that there's chemistry between them. Whereas on defense, you need chemistry between guys, but it's almost like the chemistry that you kind of need more is between like the 3 technique and the middle linebacker, right? Knowing where that guy's going to be going and the others are going to be going. I mean, there's stunts and there's stuff like that you can do, but it's not an every down kind of thing where you got to be working these 2-hand techniques with guys and having these calls for the whole line and stuff. So it's just that, man. You can't be subbing in offensive. It's not a good idea to be subbing in offensive linemen. There will be all kinds of communication breaks.
I think he's saying, like, why don't you have sub in all 5? He's saying, why don't they rotate him in? I'm thinking he's saying, like, hey, you have
like a basketball coach when he's pissed off.
My thinking is, why wouldn't you do that? Is because you need your best guys out there to protect your most valuable asset, who's that quarterback they're protecting. So, like, you're going to keep your best 5 on the field at all times if you can.
Magic didn't ask me, but Magic, my answer would be pretty simple. Have you ever put together a swing set? And have you ever taken apart a swing set? Those are 2 very different things. Are you creating or are you destroying? That's, to me, the reason you don't do it. It's just there's too much creativity in that offensive side. The defense, a lot of times, the job is just mess stuff up. Yeah. I think that's a big reason why you wouldn't. I mean, you're just, I don't think there's a coach in the world that wouldn't give you the same exact answer. It's a version of that. They all have to work together, and it's just. But
we've heard before. I'm trying to remember which coach it was. Was it Mac McWhorter way back when? Said, like, "Hey, I feel like I've got to." Like, he would sometimes sub in like a whole second line. You're not going to do that against Ohio State, but you can.
I was going to say against UTSA or
exactly.
San Jose State, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you do it then. It's a good, interesting question, though. Thank you, Magic, for that. If y'all want to throw a super chat in, that will go right to the top of the list. I think that cleans us off on super chats. Thank you for that. Also, let's give a little shout out to the good folks over at Hijack Poker and Texas Card House. They sponsor the 12 o'clock show every day. Texas Card House, 6 locations. Make sure you mention Orange Bloods when you check in, because you get 1 month of free club membership and 2 hours of free poker play. And if you're in the mood for a little online poker today, you just can't wait to get out there. You got things to do in the house. That's okay. Get it on any device. Click on the QR code, put it on whatever device you want, phone, laptop, whatever you got, and sign up, get that $20 bonus. And you got to be inside the state of Texas. That's one of the main things here. It is for the folks in Texas. So don't go driving across state lines trying to play hijack poker, because that ain't going to work. But we do appreciate them for their sponsorship. And so check it out. You might end up at a virtual table with, Alex Dunlap or Jeff Ketchum. I think I saw Cody Carpentier jumped in like a 9 a.m. game the other day.
Cody got into town and downloaded Hijack Poker, got his free $20. He's playing from bed the other day.
How about that? All right, if you guys want to add to the chat.
From bed? Is that what you said, Alex?
Yeah, he told me he woke up. Okay.
I thought maybe you visually saw that. I said, well, that's a little odd. So
no, I no firsthand evidence of this.
Okay, good.
I've heard secondhand he was laying in bed. I probably should have clarified that.
So he was laying right beside me.
Guys, I want to go back to a couple receivers here, because I was intrigued off of Alex's list. I threw Livingstone in there. I threw a couple of the freshmen in. But let's go to Livingstone here, because the video that Anwar got on the sideline of that.
I'm so glad he got that clip.
Wow. I mean, for people, go check it out.
It's the same stuff. It's the same thing. It's all the same thing all the time. Yeah.
So far, I have seen 2 videos of Arch throwing a pass to Livingstone, and they're both similar routes. It was an out route. It was something where you got to deal with the sideline. You're going to need to, dot the I, get a foot, get a toe down, and it felt really effortless both ways. Arch felt like it was no problem for him to make the throw, and man, Livingstone was good on the catches. So you guys tell me, you guys saw that stuff live. You saw him work live. How excited should Longhorn fans be here, Jason? Is this a guy that, is he trotting out there, drive 1 in Columbus? Is he that good?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, this isn't new, man. I remember the Truths and Lies column that we now do. And I think it was before spring football. I reported, hey, he's going to be a starter. Like, that's what the people inside the football offices are saying. He's going to be a starter. He's going to surprise people. He did it all spring. Yesterday, that play you're referencing, and I put it on where I had the video clip. I put it in my notes if people want to see it on Orange Bloods. That was as excited as I saw Sark. And again, we don't get to watch the whole practice. I don't know what happened later in the day, but that was as excited as I have seen Sark at any practice this week. I mean, he was just so pumped up about the route, the catch. I mean, he's in a good way. He's using profanity. He's like, that's an effing NFL play right there, Parker. I mean, that was an NFL catch. That's what's going to get you to the NFL. I mean, but it was, and that was one play, but there's others. I mean, they have him doing the downfield throws where they're kind of over the shoulder, like Willie Mays type catch. And those are not easy. Not everybody's able to execute them cleanly. I mean, Parker makes it look easy. People don't realize the speed he has, the size. Is he a day one Ohio State guy? Absolutely. I think he's going to be out there the first snap of the ball game, Chad.
So Alex, somebody, Esrone chatted this, says one word for Livingstone, Roy. Is that fair? Like, who, when you look at him, does he remind you of anybody? I know this is the first thing we always do, but like, I'm trying to figure it out in my head. Big 6'4" guy, great hands, the feet are, everything feels so coordinated, but does he remind you of somebody?
Well, the thing is, he's tall, but he's not
as big as Roy.
He's not like he's a kind of as a wiry. Is that maybe a way to say it, Jason? Like,
I don't want, was more
because he's in no way diminutive as a guy, but he's a slim guy. He's slim. I'm trying to think of a tall, kind of slim guy, like tall. And of course he's white, and so people are gonna. But you think of maybe like an Eric Decker, or maybe somebody who's a good. How big was Marquez Valdez-Scantling whenever he came out? Just a guy that's kind of skinny and tall, but he's super fast. I'm trying to think of just that kind of that prototype of that kind of athlete where he's wiry, thin,
George Pickens.
Pickens is kind of good.
Yeah, I get my Steelers reference all the time. Former Steelers reference.
I see Valdez-Scantling here listed at 6'4" and just over 200.
Yeah, that kind of. I mean, that sounds about like Parker, right? It's kind of like that kind of body style, but he doesn't have stone hands like MVS.
Yeah, Livingstone 6'4", 191 is where they have him on the roster.
Pickens 6'3", 200 was listed. So good comparisons on, kind of physically, but he's still young. I mean, listen, I think Parker could carry 215 pretty easily if he wants to. Man, I mean, to answer your question, is he an Ohio State guy? You bet. I mean, I think he's first snap of offense, he'll be on the field.
Yeah, just really impressive.
Dude. I've been saying it for years. Man.
ATX base is Moss. I mean, people, Charles Rogers, Randy Moss, Roy Williams, like, okay, look.
Easy.
I love the kid. I'm buying all the stock I can, but I got to use my phrase. Slow down. All right, we're comparing him to some pretty elite guys here.
Please, let's not try to make him Randy Moss already. Good grief, that'd be a hell of a story. Parker Livingstone, number 13. If you have not seen it, and definitely go check out. If you're not following Anwar on Twitter, do it at Anwar Richardson. But I think it's also in the OrangeBloods.com stories and the stuff that he put out. Please be checking out all that content that the guys are putting out on Orange Bloods. Let me throw up a QR code for all of you. Go click that, find the stuff. I mean, the content yesterday, both of these guys and Anwar, Cody, all four of them got to see practice, and there's been all kinds of good reactions. Jason has 2 days of photo galleries that are there on orangebloods.com if you want to go look at some of these pictures of the guys. And I know that video that Anwar got is somewhere in there, including his freeze frame on his feet, because the reason Sark flipped out on that play, I'm glad you mentioned that, Jason. He clearly got 2 feet down.
Mm-hmm. He dragged one toe. It was beautiful.
Yeah, did a really nice job of making an NFL quality catch. So Parker Livingstone, certainly a guy that's been worth talking about already. All right, we'll see if the guys have anything else they want to hit before we wrap up. Let's give Specs a little love. Thanks to almost 700 of you in the Specs chat. Here's Lisa.
Texans know for selection and lower prices, it all starts at Specs. Shop Specs! With all your favorites on tap, you'll bring home the win. Boots on, drinks up. The fun starts here. Shop Specs!
Yes, indeed. All right. So we talked Livingstone. Oh, the other thing I was going to ask you, Alex, when I said one word on French, you said missile. Talk about Jamie French a little bit. He and Lockett, I think, are being talked about a little less maybe than than those other two guys. But like, give me a thought on Lockett and French.
He's fast and he's more dense than you would think, and I think he's kind of more powerful than you would think, and I could have said race car.
Yeah,
something where it's flashy, it looks fancy, it looks really nice and well put together, and maybe a little bit more substantial than you would have thought. I think that he's just he looks like he was crafted to do this, like some kind of football machine. So that's kind of what I thought. Missile, sports car, that kind of thing.
I got you.
Let me say this about Jamie French. Y'all haven't got a chance to know him yet. That dude, if he doesn't make it in football, he's going to be he's got just a $1 million smile, $1 million personality. I think he wants to go into media someday, so he'll probably be taking our jobs or something someday. But I mean, the guy's he's just a superstar on the field, off the field. I mean, dude's got the total package.
Yeah, one of your pictures, Jason, that is what stood out to me. Yeah. It's both of what was just said. It's Alex's comment about the way he's built, but then that smile was just
and that's who he is, dude. He's always happy and he's just, I mean, very engaging, personable. He's really an awesome, young man, but yeah, really fun guy to cover.
That is good stuff. All right, ATX Bates has a question for you guys for Super Chat. Who has the highest yards per rush at the end of the year? Wisner, Baxter, Clark. Yards per carry. Y'all got a thought on that?
That's tough because Wisner is going to be, he's going to be your starter. He's going to be going against the studs. I mean, Clark will get some of that work, but he also may get some work late in the game against backups where you can kind of pad your stats. So I'm going to go probably with Clark for that reasoning, but I think Wisner, my first instinct was to go Wisner. I think he's the best runner of the three, but I think Clark, if he's playing late in the game against backups, he may pop off some big runs that skew the numbers a little bit. So I'll go Clark on that, but that doesn't, I think Wisner's the best runner of the three.
Okay.
I think Clark too, for a lot of the same reasons that Jason does. I don't see them putting him in there to grind out tough yards. Like, I think that he's going to be used. I mean, he's a space weapon. So I would say that, bigger spaces, more space to dash through. And like Jason said, it could come in times where it's like second half versus San Jose State. And it's just going to be easy.
Those thighs on Clark, my goodness, man, that dude, if you need a tough yard, he might be the guy to get it. I don't know if you saw I don't think you saw the pictures I posted, Alex. There's one, his quads are freaking like popping out of the skin. It's freakish.
Yeah.
These dudes are in some serious shape right now. ATX Bates, thank you. Alex, I know you got to run. Thank you for jumping in today on the Modcast. Jason and I will wrap it up. Thank you, sir.
All right, fellas. Talk to y'all soon.
Later, Alex. Do it.
Alex Dunlap got a chance to look at those two practices, as did Jason. If you guys want to throw in a last chat, we can do that. There's the yards per carry. And the only other thing I need to do before we wrap up is just remind y'all to head out to the Deep Eddy Vodka tasting room. If you are into such things, it's a beautiful time of year. It's got a little hot at times, but they got great indoor seating as well. They have outdoor seating. They've got 9 flavors of vodka. You can do a tasting. You can try some of these great cocktails, or maybe do a little of both. And make sure to try the Crimson Creek Smokehouse Barbecue if you're looking for a meal. It's great barbecue. I'd send you there just for the barbecue alone. But with all the other stuff you get at Deep Eddy Vodka, it's a complete experience. You're going to have a great time. I'm going out there to celebrate one of our friends' birthdays like we do every year coming up in August. So you may see me out there on, I think it's the 23rd we're heading out. But get on out there. Have a great time at the Deep Eddy Vodka tasting room. Jason, just one more question for you before we wrap. I'm listening to you guys talk about whether it's Jamie French or it's Cole Brevard or whoever about the way these guys look. You don't need to mention an individual player if the answer is yes. But, talk to me about your grade for Torrey Becton. He's been getting a lot of love these last couple years, but did you see anything that would make you think, whoa, what's up with that? That looks a little sloppy. That guy looks out of shape. This guy looks like he's a little winded coming in. I mean, it was 102 degrees when y'all went out there for practice 1. What kind of grade would you give Torrey Becton overall with what you saw?
Honestly, it's going to sound homerish, but like A+. Like seriously, like these guys' bodies. I see them. I cover them as recruits. And Anwar and I were talking about this. DeAndre Moore. He's like, man, DeAndre Moore is like put together. And I was like, yeah. Like I saw him in the spring. Again, I was down there for a recruiting event, and because DeAndre wasn't participating in spring ball, and he came up and said hi, and whatever. I covered him as a recruit, and it is amazing to me in a couple of years how these guys transform their bodies. I mean, must be nice to be young and be able to forget to do that, right? But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have some guys that come into the program and it takes them a bit of time to get into shape and stuff. But by and large, no, I look at these guys. I'm like, CJ Baxter, DeAndre Moore, even Emmett Mosley. Like, I don't know what I was expecting from Emmett Mosley, but I don't know. I just was expecting kind of a more like slender, wiry guy. But man, he's put together really well. And a lot of that we got to Texas, of course. But yeah, no, I mean, those strength and conditioning coach, every college fan base loves them for a while. And then when teams start to lose, then they hate them. And it's the strength and conditioning coach's fault. But no, I'm a big fan of what Torrey Beckton's done, just obviously performance-wise and just eyeballing these players when I see them at practice.
Yeah. And again, go check out the pictures and the photo galleries at orangebloods.com. Jason, both days got a lot of really good pictures. Go see what we're talking about, how these guys are put together. It is certainly a part of the story here. And check out all the notes, all the news, all the things the guys are here. And the War Room came out last night as we're talking to you on a Friday. Throughout the weekend, there'll be practices. The guys will be checking in with their sources. There might be somebody that could get an eyeball on practice, or somebody that knows somebody that we don't all know how this all gets done, but it gets done and you get to take advantage of it. Go to orangebloods.com. Try it for $1 for a week. $1 for your first week. Figure out what's going on, and then you're going to stick with it for life. We appreciate you for doing that. We also appreciate you for liking, subscribing, getting those notifications. The subscriber number is just going crazy. We appreciate y'all getting us over 55,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, it is free on YouTube. Please do that. And if you didn't like on the way in, go ahead and like on the way out. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday at noon for another show. But check out all the content. Check out the shorts section. Check out the videos section. If you don't see what you're looking for, there's a lot of stuff. We threw an Outsiders out today at 10 a.m. Our man Bo Edge is back from his crazy trip to the ICU. He'll tell you a little bit about that, and you'll find out Chance Mock's favorite Adam Sandler movies of all time. So it's all out there. Check out Orange Bloods Live. We appreciate you. Y'all have a good weekend. Take care. See you.